Hey everybody, welcome back. Now that we've got the rear frame kind of all situated and the Tesla motor mounted, we're going to go ahead and start getting some wires run, getting the cooling run, get the brake lines run, and try and finish up that battery box back there. So let's get into it. All right, with the back frame all cleaned up, I'm starting to route some things back there. So this is kind of the wire bundle coming from the Tesla controller. So this is the one that's going back. It comes along there, or here. I've got it coming down the frame over here, and then plug goes there, and then the inverter controller, or the wires to the inverter, go back around there. I have the essentially the line coming from the radiator that's sneaking behind the battery module and coming up here. I've got it tied there, and again right there, and then it comes essentially into the Tesla unit. So that's the input. Now I'll go work on the output. All right, here is the return side of the coolant. So it essentially comes out of the motor there, and I've got just one clip here to keep it kind of out of the way, and another one there. I'll take you around the other side so you can see. All right, again, so it comes out right there. I've got it secured there, and then also there, and then it's kind of run around here. And this will just be kind of behind the battery modules here, and going up through the front tunnel over to the radiator. So I think that will do it for cooling for now. So again, I've got the coolant hoses going to and from the motor all the way up front to the radiator. I will need to splice in some T's to go to essentially the rear battery box here, and then these two battery locations for cooling. So I'm not going to do that until I got the batteries in place, but I'll have to tee off and put some flow control valves, again, so I can meter how much coolant I want going to which batteries. All right, so I've got the wires kind of up and tied out of the way. Looks nice and tidy over here. And then I've got the coolant lines that we put in as well. And again, they're kind of secured out of the way. Look pretty tidy. So now I'm going to go on to the brake lines. So right there is the brake line coming from the master cylinder. Well, actually, the master cylinder through the proportioning valve to the rear. So I'm going to go ahead and tee that off, and I'll bring it over, probably just up one of these rails around, and this is where it goes to. So we'll get working on that. So I have this brake line all done. The fittings, so the one side, basically most of the car is the essentially the 3/16 tubing and the 3/8 24 inverted adapter here for the brake line fitting. However, the Tesla back there, it needs the 3/16 tube size, but it needs the M10. And so it's also a little bit longer threads, and I did not put that one on. So I need to cut this one off and put the new one on. All right, so we've been working on brake lines. So this one goes up to here, and then I've got it going over. It's tight in there. I've got both the cabling and the brake line coming over and going down there. This is the cabling on this side, and then again the brake line goes to here, and I've got it tied here. So I think this should be okay. This is just going to go up and down. Yeah, looks good. All right, I got I can't remember, 25 feet of this brake line, and I'm about 6 inches too short for the other side. So I'm gonna have to get a few more feet and to finish it up. All right, second line or driver side line is done. So again, teed off from there, going to there, got it secured there. Coming over to this corner and down and secured there, and then off to the brake caliper. So I believe brake lines are done. I still need to bleed them and test them and everything, but big accomplishment. Okay, here I am back at the front of the car. The battery modules that I've got here, I've got them. Two things I want to fix. One is I've got all the essentially these are the cell voltage readouts are all plugged in. Well, those are actually, I'll call them live, so meaning in the back they're actually going to read cell voltages. And so even though I don't have like the battery modules hooked up one to another. So I'm not going to get like 400 volts, but just one battery's got like, what is that, 56 volts. So there's some wires that I don't have terminated on the other end yet. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug all those terminals. The other thing is one of the viewers commented on the cooling. So I've got cooling that's going in and out of these plates, and I just have them running in serial. So just cooling 1 is then going to go into cooling 2 and then go into cooling 3. So he mentioned going in parallel would be better, and I agree. So what I'll do is when I take them out, because I got to take them out to get the wires on the other half, on the back half out, I'll go ahead and redo the cooling lines. So I'll have flow controls on each individual board. I'll probably, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'll probably use a pump just to make sure they're all kind of metered to have the same flow before I hook them back up. But I'll go ahead and have the one inlet, and then I'll break it out into 4, and each one of these will have its own inlet that's flow controlled, and then they'll all join back up to 1 going out, and hopefully that will be, this front battery pack will be finished up. Everything is apart now, so I don't know if I can show all this, but I got it teed off down there. So basically, now I got things in parallel. So basically, one line goes in there. So while one goes up through here, the other one goes over to this one. Same thing, while one goes up here, the other one goes. So I got T's all along there. And I've got to get this one to the battery module that sits on top, but then all these will be the exits. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, and then they've all got the metering valves on them, and again all those will go up to here, and again I'll put the T's on there, so we'll just have one line going out. The other thing is just looking at the paste. So I'm going to go ahead and put some on the battery. So I mean, got pretty good contact along a lot of it, but there are some spots that are missing, and I only just did the one side. So I'm going to do both this side and that side, get better contact there. I'm starting to work on the panels for the rear battery box. So just painting them up. This one needs another coat there. So they'll go around the battery box there. I am in the process of drilling. I don't know if you can see, but basically just attachment points, doing some rib nuts. So I drill, then I take off, and I paint. This one I'm actually going to do, instead of paint, I'll do the rubberized undercoating. And then along all the edges, I'll do kind of the seam sealer adhesive stuff. So that's what we're working on now. All right, I got this back panel on. And also with that is the rear cooling plate. So that is on. I've also got the bottom one mounted. So I did the rubberized undercoating on that one. I'm tending to like that one. I think I might just do that throughout the engine bay here, motor bay. Just again, I think that's what I'll end up doing. But they're kind of slowly putting this box together. Okay, I got this bottom panel installed here. Got the rubberized undercoating underneath here, and got a couple rib nuts to secure it, and I also did the seam sealant adhesive kind of around all the edges. So it should be good there. And I also drilled some holes here, there for the next plate that goes on that side. Okay, so I got the panel here all secured. Looks like I need to clean it up a little bit, but I think it looks pretty nice. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put on the side panels. So I got one for each side, and I think that'll kind of do it for this, at least the paneling for this battery box. I'm needing getting some kind of machine parts that'll go essentially in this slot and then around the back of the cooling plate. That's just kind of keep it cinched up there, and also make sure that it doesn't move up or forward or back. So again, it'll kind of keep it down and not go anywhere. All right, I got this side one on. And we'll go ahead and do the other side. All right, I got this one on. Again, just kind of got it secured in a couple places, and just did the seam sealer adhesive kind of all around the edges there. So yeah, so now I can put all the battery modules in. Like I said before, I just need those little brackets to kind of keep them down and against the plate, but that should be good. I've got all that, and I've got the top that I can set on, so probably move on to something else. All right, now that I've got the cooling going to the motor, the wires going to the motor, I got brakes somewhat sorted out. Still need to kind of bleed them and test them and stuff like that. But I'm going to turn focus now on to the wiring mess. So I'll go ahead and get things somewhat streamlined. The other thing I need to figure out is where I'm going to put the BMS. Anyway, because all the wires have to go to the BMS, and so I'm just trying to figure out, maybe I'll just put it right behind there. Anyway, I got to figure out where I'm going to put that, and then I can kind of trim all these wires to length and make all the connectors, plug things together. So that's next. All right, I was able to clean up a little bit. So I was gonna say the two closest to us are the essentially positive and negative from the battery, front battery pack. And then the other ones are kind of the monitoring wires. But let's see, so we got them kind of all tied out of the way. I've got some rib nuts, and then just because of the bulk of them, I put some zip ties around them, but essentially got it going to about there. Again, I need to figure out where I'm going to mount the high voltage electrical stuff, the BMS. I just need to figure out where that goes. But I was also able to, I've got some of the wires for a lot of the rear things like brake lights, reverse lights, turn signals. So that bundle is coming here. So I was able to kind of tie that one out of the way, and it's coming up around here and then back here. So once the shell kind of comes on, then I'll be able to mount these all in place. But that's what we were able to do. So I think it's looking pretty good.
All right, everybody, that does it for this week. We were able to make a lot of good progress. We were able to get the brake lines installed, got the coolant lines in, got the wires run, and got a few things cleaned up. So a lot of good progress. Next week we'll continue. So hope you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing. See you next week.